What's up, guys? Charles Mabe here, and today I'm gonna get something a little different than I normally do. I've made so many dread videos. I feel like there's not a whole lot more I can do. I have a couple more in mind, but I feel like I've helped you guys out with dread videos so much. But this video does sort of relate to dreadlocks in a way, and we'll get to that in a second. So I've decided to do a different kind of video. This video is going to be about North Paulding High School in Georgia. The high school that I'm sure you've seen on social media that had photos of kids crowded together in the hallways, even though there's been confirmed cases of COVID amongst staff and students. They're still putting these kids together in school, and they're forcing kids to go to school. Number one, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. They shouldn't be in school to begin with. Number two, they should definitely not be packed in the hallways. And number three, they should be wearing masks. Now, the principal has come out and the superintendent has come out, and two students have come out that have taken the photos. Two students took photos. One for sure I know has been on a 5-day, I want to say, or 3 or 5 day suspension, out of school suspension, because of the fact that they brought to light an issue that the school was having. The school has charged them with, the reason for the suspension was that they took photos in between classes. They're using a phone they shouldn't have, and they took photos of minors. What it really means is that they are mad because it came to light that they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. They're not being responsible with people's students, with lives. They're not being responsible. So they got mad and they suspended these students. Now the superintendent and the principal have come out and said, well, you know, the reason, you know, the virus, that photo was taken, it was crowded hallways, but, you know, they were only in that hallway for a short amount of time. Which is great, I suppose, because, you know, it's not like the virus knows the difference between a short amount of time. Maybe the virus is like, oh, okay, it's passing period. We're not going to be able to spread right now, guys. Wait till we're only in the class. No, of course not. The virus doesn't know that because it's a virus. A virus will spread, especially a highly contagious virus like COVID, spreads through an aerosol, spreads in crowded places, spreads indoors faster because there's no airflow. And you have kids, obviously, they're kids. You can't blame them for being kids. They're going to be talking in the hallway. They're going to be talking close to each other. And you have everyone packed together. I mean, I'm not sure how smart they are down in Georgia down there, or how smart the principal or superintendent is, but maybe they could have thought about, oh, I don't know, maybe you let a few kids out at once and you stagger out the amount of kids that go from class to class or whatever, or, you know, maybe some wait on this side or some wait. They couldn't figure that out. They had to let them all out at the same time. Way to go. Real good job there, guys. And then the other thing they said, and this is where it kind of gets to the whole dreadlock thing, or hair thing in general, or even a dress code. But I particularly look at it as a dress code or a hair violation, right? The superintendent, I believe it was, said, you know what, we encourage all the students to wear masks, but we can't really enforce it. We can't enforce them wearing a mask. Really? You can't enforce them. You can't enforce I don't know, what's it called? A dress code? You can't enforce that, right? Yet if a female student were to come, especially down in southern Georgia, if a female were to come to school in a short skirt that they deemed inappropriate, too sexy, distracting for the boys, you know for a fact they would send her home or send her home to change or make her change right there. They're not going to be like, oh, well, we can't enforce it, guys. I don't know what to do. Golly, Jeb, what should we do? Should we enforce that? No, of course not. They're going to send her home. Or the other thing to think about is like this. If someone like me were in high school and I decided to grow my dreadlocks out, they're going to say, that's an inappropriate hairstyle. That's not our next little crew cut like we like it down here. It's inappropriate. Go home and change. Change your haircut. We can't let you in school because it's distracting. But with the mask debate, oh, golly, I don't know. Our hands are tied. What can we do? How can we enforce that? Come on. Georgia is seeing a spike in cases. I mean, most of the South is because they kind of think the same way. Don't worry, God's got us. We'll be all right. You know, it's like, how can you be so dumb, especially in an education setting? You're showing your students that you're too ignorant to figure out how to keep them safe, but you still want to put them in there, even though, like, hey, hey guys, sorry, look, we know there's some cases. Some of you might die, but guess what? You got to get your education down here so you can marry your sister wife. I just don't understand the South. Especially don't understand that school, North Paulding High School. I don't get it. You know, it's like, it's just a ridiculous news story. It's a ridiculous story in general. The fact that, wait, hang on, one more second. It gets better. they also made an announcement, which someone recorded, and thank you for recording it, of the principal saying, "Now guys, listen here, we will not tolerate anyone making our school look bad, recording, or anything of the such. And if you do, they'll be disciplined." Why would you discipline a student for sticking up for themselves and protecting themselves and taking their life seriously? If anything, they're being much more of an adult and a much more adult mindset than the principal and the superintendents and whoever else is in charge in that godforsaken school down there. It's like they're looking out for themselves and being like, hey, you know what? This isn't right. This isn't safe. Maybe we should take it in our own hands and show the world what's happening at our school and how they're not protecting us. Instead of punishing those students for protecting themselves, maybe you should punish yourselves. Maybe you shouldn't be part of that school system or be around having any kind of decision around children or the life they lead or the fact that you could kill them because you're forcing them in tight classrooms, in crowded hallways where a virus is already spreading and you're having an outbreak. Why would you do that? Ugh. If you can't tell by now, I am sick of people not listening to science and believing that their opinion is more important and more makes more sense than science. I need a drink because I'm getting fired up. It's absolutely ignorant of them to think, oh, you know what? I don't get it. I don't believe science. I don't believe masks are going to help at all. It's against my freedoms. It's not. It costs you nothing to wear a mask. Okay, you might get a little hot. Oh, whatever. Blah blah blah. If you have one chance to save a life, why would you not do that? Why would you not do that? I'll do anything for my country, but I'm not wearing a mask. I'll tell you that. I'll go out there and I'll fight whoever I got to fight, and I'll carry my gun around. But I'm not going to go out there and wear a mask. No way. No sirree, Bob. I can't do it. Makes no sense. Absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sick of it. North Paulding High School. Get your act together. Protect your students. Stop being so ridiculous. If you're going to put them in school, make them wear a mask. Enforce the mask rule. You have the power. Believe me, I know you have the power. You're going to send someone home for the way they dress or someone's haircut or whatever other dumb reason you have. You can make them wear a mask. Do the right thing and get on it and do it. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening to me rant. I really appreciate it. I have to get it out somewhere, and you know what? Let me know what you think. I'm curious to think what tell me, what's your opinion on the mask debate? What's your opinion on kids going back to school? I would love to know. I want to hear someone else's side of it. That's where I stand. That's where I stand. If you haven't already, guys, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I totally appreciate it. I'm going to keep making content, and let's have a debate. Let's talk about it. All right, bye, guys.